Me, LD,
Me,
MT. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode. Thanks for joining us today. A little bit of what we're going to... continuation, probably, of our last episode where we spoke a little bit about System of a Down. Bro, I sort of feel a little bit bad. I do feel a little bit bad about that.
The more I thought about it, the more justified I felt in it. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, this was definitely just like laying on the cutting room floor. People can refer to that for a separate dose.
That's not what I feel bad about. I feel bad about the fact that they release these songs to help support the Armenian people that are going through a genocide or something like that at the moment. So I do feel bad about that, but at the same time, I'm looking at it from a subjective music opinion, not the reason why they're releasing it, but legitimately just if the music was dropped by itself, what do I think about it?
Yeah, and it was garbage.
My opinion still stays the same, dude. Yeah, I agree.
You have the capacity to. They have I think the problem was they have the capacity to do much more in terms of I would if they got together and it came through in the song, I'd be like, whoa, yeah, it shows that they're serious about this.
Yeah, for sure. I went and I was watching some new footage of them playing live and then some old footage of them playing live. I didn't realize this. I don't know if it was just for this one gig or if it's for multiple gigs, but they were all dressed up in costumes. They had face paint on and stuff like that from the late 90s, 98,
yeah, that
99.
was quite old. Yeah, Darren used to have his hair in a bob as well.
Yeah.
He shaved I think he shaved a lot of his head and had a bob, and he would have pink hair and stuff, and he would have crazy face paint.
Yeah, and it just confirmed a lot of sort of what I was, saying. It just felt different. The energy was just way different, obviously in 98, 99, whatever, than it is now, which is to be expected. But I mean, like I said, I still sort of stick by it. I think if you write a certain type of music, if you're trying to capture a certain type of energy, if you don't have it anymore because you've grown up or you're not angry or you're not on drugs like you used to be, then it's just not going to work like it used to work.
Yeah, but I think in that instance of that particular band, I think a significant factor, possibly the most significant factor, was that you had an instance of one member, being Darren, getting the lion's share of the income that the band was generating because he was the principal songwriter. So when it came to royalties and things like that, he was getting way, way more than everyone else. And I think it reached a point where, particularly for Serge, based on what I understand, he was just getting real fed up with that arrangement. And I can see how that would be the case, particularly if, granted, you may not be the principal songwriter, you're still sacrificing a comparable amount of your life to pursue the band and to be part of it. You're doing the touring, you're doing all that stuff. And then when you come out of it and you've got, 6% of what the other dude in the band is taking home, that would wear you down. Similar to Dave Lombardo in Slayer. He's like, we just did a sold out world tour and you gave me 30 grand. I would have been better off working a minimum wage job, but I just did a world tour with Slayer. I think it often, and that's the thing, dude, it's like anything, when big sums of money get involved, shit gets really complicated. And unless you're going to go into it and be like, all right, we're 4 equal parts, 5 equal parts, how many members you have.
Which is how it should be. In my opinion, 4 people, 25% each. I don't care. I don't care if some dude writes all the tracks and the other 3 are just hanging out. Unless that's a predetermined agreement, hey, I write all the tracks and I'm going to get, 60% or whatever. If you establish that at the front of getting everything together, sure. But I mean, if you've got a band and you're just writing tracks and you haven't made that sort of agreement, and then, later on down the track, someone's like, I want 75%. That's a bit bullshit. But, otherwise, I think 25%, just split it even.
I know, I tend to agree. I suppose a lot of that stuff is a lot easier to discuss as a concept when, in the instance of our band, you're talking about a few $100s split 4 ways. When you're talking in excess of $1 million and say you were the principal songwriter, and I think with a lot of situations, dude, it can often also be a manager or a partner, your girlfriend gets in your ear And he's like, you realize that you're responsible for generating over $1 million. Why are you giving so much to these guys that are just hanging on when you're the mastermind and you get surrounded by influential people?
But I don't know, because like that shit's always backfired, man. Like, okay, that shit has always backfired when someone has been like, well, actually, I'm this good and now I want a bigger share or whatever. Realistically, how often does that work out for the individual? I would say probably 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. There maybe is a few people that you could name that you could go, yeah, that person, they decided they wanted more of a split, or they do better by themselves and they left a project and they're doing shit better by themselves. Yeah. Like a few people. But I mean, like, overall, majority of people, that doesn't work in their favour. So, I don't know, you'd think that people would just learn their lesson as well. But I think that's there's ego. There's ego in that.
Ego, like, it just takes the front seat all the time.
Yeah.
And, as I say, because it can be... The individual could be susceptible to that way of thinking, but when it's encouraged by other people, the people around you, and they're all getting in your ear, and they're all like, "Man, you're the best. Like, without you, this wouldn't exist. Like, you're like, you're like the muse for this whole thing." And next minute they go out and do a solo project, and it sucks. But speaking of projects, what's on the
guys,
agenda today, dude?
Well, we're gonna listen to a bit of Aussie legends today, mate. We're going to listen to the greatest rock and roll band that ever existed in the history of the world. A bit of Akadaka. New AC/DC dropped, everyone. If you didn't know, if you're living in a shell or under a rock.
If you're living under a rock.
If you don't know.
Because of pun.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Good pun. I legitimately have not heard it. MT, have you heard it?
I did snuck a little bit, but I was walking, so I wasn't paying. It wasn't a critical listen.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna try something out. We're gonna have a listen to it during our podcast, guys. We're probably gonna have to fast forward through the song because we don't want to get copyrighted, and like the whole operation gets burnt to the ground.
Crop it. Yeah. We'll discuss it. You listen to it as well. You press pause. You listen to that track. Then you unpause, and then you can participate in the conversation.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that is it. So, without further ado, we're just going to have a listen to the single. I think it's the single. It's called "Shot in the Dark." We're going to have a listen to this, and then we'll be back with you in 2 seconds. Cool. We just listened to the track
and watched the video.
Oh yeah, and we watched the video too. We'll see how that looks. Maybe we can put that in the YouTube or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Figure something out.
What do you think?
I think it was bang on, dude. I think it was like... I think they delivered. I would say the only thing that left me a little bit wanting more was the chorus. The chorus didn't really hit for me. It felt a bit like a pre-chorus. It was a bit like with those... That
like they could have gone a little bit more. Yeah.
Like... But on the whole, man, I suppose it's a case of... Like these, I think I have a different take on it now that I'm a bit older, and I have a bit more of a different view of music. I think when I was a bit younger and a bit more, like had my head up my ass, I'd be like, oh, it's too basic, or it's too this, it's too that. But I think I really feel, I have like a much deeper appreciation for a band like this that has effectively written the rule book on what the foundations for rock and roll is.
Yeah,
so it's cool to see them delivering.
Yeah,
still,
it's pretty good. It was pretty. Like I agree, man. It was pretty good for a bunch of 70-year-old dudes. Like
dude.
It like it's basic. Yeah, it's like simple, just friggin' A chords, friggin' C chords, B, E, F, whatever, every chord, right? Like it's basic chords, but I mean like. Overall, it was really, really good, I thought. So
and I think that's a good example of a band being, I don't know what the expression is, maybe greater than the sum of its parts. I don't know what the expression is, but it's like all of those dudes working so well together is what makes it special. Like
absolutely.
And particularly Brian's voice, dude. Like that, I feel like that dude hasn't missed a beat since he joined the band.
Yeah, his voice sounds alright, and once again, going back to what I was saying, like to get to that age and to still have vocal ability, and especially like his style, man, just like raspy as hell. Like maybe it's easy. I don't know. Maybe he's singing exactly like that. Maybe he's just like almost, because that's almost like a weird falsetto. It's just like a roll through the night. Like that's not hard to do, but I don't know, the way that he sounds like he's doing it.
It's it, dude. It's like,
I don't know. It's different.
There are many bands and stuff. You know, you could be like, oh, I can sing like generic falsetto, but you don't sound like Yonzi from Sigur Rós. Like it's the way that someone does it, and I feel like it's the sum of all the dudes in the band, and obviously Angus still having the chops. I also would have liked to have heard him
bit more of a solo,
let loose a bit more. Yeah, it felt a bit constrained. Maybe because it was intended to be a single. They were like, we need to keep a lid on.
Maybe there's like a like a longer version on the album or something like that. But it did sound like he was about to just start like ripping out a solo, and you got this little bit, and you were like, oh, and then it stopped, and you're like,
gave you a taste test.
Okay. You know, I wouldn't mind checking out a couple more tracks from the album, but
let's do it.
I'd like to, like right now.
Yeah, isn't that what we? Yeah, sure, why not? What else we got?
Yeah, that's true.
I got a recommendation as well. I'll give you 2 recommendations. Yeah, this is good. This is going to help. Yeah,
there's heaps of tracks up on the YouTubes. What track do you want?
I want Witch's Spell.
Yeah, lucky. I've got that one right here, buddy. That's fine.
Nice. Let's hit it.
All right.
We'll have a little yak about it. There's two, maybe 3 that I think we should, particularly that we should check out. Maybe this is a bit of a format we can do. Like we'll just pluck a few select tracks, and we'll just chat about those. Yeah,
that sounds good. All right, cool. Yeah, all right. So, guys, without further ado, we're going to listen to Witch's Spell. We'll be back in 1 minute. Cue the elevator music. You can hear this, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, and we're back, and I got pizza.
Special delivery.
It's magic. Yeah, special magic delivery.
What do you reckon? I was a big fan of that track.
Hold on. The track's playing in the background. Oh, shit. Sorry, dude.
Jesus Christ.
I had fucking YouTube still going. I had bloody more Akadaka blasting in my ears there for a second. I really like that song.
Dude, how good! I felt like it had that chorus had what I felt was lacking in Shot in the Dark.
Yeah,
like it was a real strong lead, like a really upfront vocal. That was sick.
I really like that one riff. It was like whatever it was. Like it was a good riff, and it had a bit of bop to it. Had a bit of like guts. Had a bit of like all right. And I didn't mind that chorus too. You know, the backing vocals were good. Vocally, it just had a good. It was just thumping along.
I feel like that's the, like the masters at work. Like Jethro Tull, I think, put out the album. Or it was a compilation called Original Masters. That's how I feel about Akadaka.
Okay.
Like, listening to a track like that, I'm like, oh, when you just like, what's the word? Like, unconsciously bopping your head. That's what that tune did for me, man. Like, you couldn't hear that and not be tapping your foot. Just like, like they've just, like, they're in the pocket here, man. Like, everyone, I feel like when they were writing that, everyone was just like, bopping their head, and they're like, yeah, this is sick. Like, good tempo, good, cool. It just felt like a very cool song.
Yeah, it was a cool song, and you're right, like 100%. Like I was nodding my head the entire time that I was listening to that, and it was a good one. It was a nice one. It felt like it had a bit more balls than I reckon the other track. I would have released that as the single. I see why they didn't.
Yeah,
but I would have released that. I think.
Yeah, dude, and it had it had some, again, like a bit more upfront in the lead.
It just felt a bit more. Yeah, it just felt a bit more like it wasn't so, like, how do I explain it? It wasn't so just like, it wasn't as safe. I feel like the single was safe. It was so safe. Like, you'd listen to it, you'd be like, this is AC/DC, but it's so safe. There's no one that would have listened to that track that would have been like, I don't like it. I feel like everyone that has heard an AC/DC track would probably like that track if they like that style of music. This one had a bit more, like I said, a bit more balls. It wasn't as safe. I liked it. I really liked it, actually.
Made me want to wear a leather jacket when I listened to it.
Yeah, fucking oath, man. Made me want to, go down to the local pub and smash a couple pints and get
Yeah,
into a
dude.
fight with
There's
someone.
something, dude. There's something about it, like just listen to a track like that, and just I don't know, just something very cool about it, and it's very difficult to quantify or to explain. And I think it's one of those things, man. It's just like they have such a dynamite cool factor. And I'll tell you a brief story. We'll quickly segue.
Please.
It's not a
Please,
segue.
while I take a bite. Of
Yes,
this.
it's actually directly related, and it was on the Black Ice World Tour when they played in Melbourne, and I wasn't really here nor there on them as a band. Like, I was always aware of their existence, obviously, but I didn't really get the whole excitement about them. And it was my mum, and you know my mum well enough to know that I don't think she's ever been to a gig in her life. Like, she's not really that way inclined. And when she found out about
Your mother?
Yeah, dude. She, we were sitting down at dinner, and she was like, "Are you going to go to this AC/DC show?" And I was like, "Nah, probably not. Not really. You know, it's like $150. I'm poor, and I'm not that interested." And she was like, "No, I think it's important for you to go to this concert because it'll be one of those things that you'll regret if you don't go." And I was like, "You've never ever said this about anything." Yeah, I was like, "What are you talking about?"
That's really weird that your mum would say that.
It was strange. I know, she was just like, "Yeah, I think you should." And then I think I went with all of my siblings, and I'm pretty sure from memory, I think Mum paid for it. She was like, "Yeah, I really think you should go." And I was like, "Mum, I don't get why there's all of this sudden you're putting this significance on AC/DC."
You should ask her about it now.
I should grill her. We should get her on the show. But
be like, Mum, why did you want me to see AC/DC that bad?
But then again, dude, having gone and seen the spectacle, I feel like it sort of clicked in my mind, and I was like,
when was that?
On the Black Ice tour. So that album came out.
That was the last album, right?
2008.
Was that the last album?
Yeah.
So it's been 12 years. Or they released something since then?
Yes, it's been a long time. Yeah, because they also did Rock or Bust in 2014. I think it was between 2014 and now that Malcolm passed away.
Rest in peace to a legend.
Yeah, which I think was, for a lot of people, I think they expected that was sort of it. Which is why this is a bit exciting.
And they're from Burwood. They're from Burwood.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know that?
I knew that
the Young Brothers. The Young Brothers are from Burwood, bro.
Angus and Malcolm.
Yeah.
My understanding is a great deal of their formative years were spent in Sydney, though. There's a lot, and it doesn't get acknowledged. I watched a little.
Is there a Burwood in Sydney? Is there a Burwood in Sydney?
Probably. Dude, there's a lot of... Australia's not that creative with the naming of its cities and
name
towns.
the same place fucking 10 times around Australia,
Yeah, but there's very little acknowledgement of it. Like, we have AC/DC Lane in Melbourne, and there's a lot...
Yeah.
You know about AC/DC in Melbourne, but not in Sydney.
I've been there, mate. I've been there. I went to bloody... Oh, yeah, we did play there, actually. Bloody... You're not Australian if you haven't played in AC/DC Lane.
That's it. What's the name of the venue there?
Cherry Bar.
Cherry Bar.
Moved. It's not there anymore.
Oh, really? Okay.
Actually, I don't know. Is that true? Oh, who knows, dude?
That
could be a wild statement. Yeah, someone fact check me in the comments. Who knows?
All right, dude.
All right, are we listening to...
I got one more for you.
Okay, what is it?
It's called Demon Fire.
I got it right here, buddy. All right, hold on.
Cue it up. Here we go, and then we'll debrief on it.
Skewed up. All right, here we go,
is
guys.
Fun.
We're gonna listen to Demon Fire. We'll be right back. Yeah, all right. And just before we comment on it, I've spilt pizza on my bloody white shirt. All right,
idiot.
Before anyone makes a comment, I already know. I tried to clean it up. I liked it. You know, like I'm 50-50 on Demon Fire.
Wow.
I don't like that. I don't like that riff, but I really like the chorus.
That's what did it for me. I thought that was cool.
That.
I feel like that was like a one of those riffs that it was cool as hell, but it wasn't. It seems like accessible, like a. You know how like you learn Enter Sandman and stuff like that early on a guitar. It's like a fraction up from that. You know, as you're learning getting your chops up, and then. Yeah, I've always enjoyed what they do. It's like, you know, a chef that does amazing with limited ingredients. I feel like that's what AC/DC do with limited dynamics
absolutely.
and whatnot, and they just make it sound sick.
Yeah, look, I know what you mean. I just didn't really vibe with it that much, but I did vibe with the chorus riff and the chorus. Like it
That was a
definitely
big
like
chorus, huh? Like
it
felt
sounded like it was like teetering on like heavy metal when heavy metal first got invented. Like it was teetering on metal. It was teetering on. You could almost say that if this was released back in 70s or something like that, you could be like, oh, that's like proto metal. You know what I mean? Like you could be like, it's like some old school metal shit. I liked it. And look, I'll be honest, none of this would I listen to in my own time.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I gotta respect them for the fact, you know, how old they are, how long they've been in the game, and for the fact that they can still write. I enjoyed these songs way more than I enjoyed the System of a Down songs that we listened to.
And I think this is particularly for me, I think this is a great example of a band that has been super consistent and is delivering what you like. You know, like it's like going in to see the sequel for a film that you enjoyed, and you're like, all right, they've lived up to that. I feel like I wouldn't go out of the way and say that I'm a diehard Akadaka fan, but in terms of what I've grown to expect from them, this lives up to it. I'm not hearing these songs and thinking, oh boys, you're sort of struggling with your own sound here. I'm like, these are guys that know exactly what they're doing, and if they had released this in the 70s, it still would have stood up. Like this. Yeah, if it was like a flip-flop and the stuff that they were putting out there, it's... I suppose that is a really good thing, that it's indistinguishable. And I can see how if you were a diehard fan, I'd be surprised if you were underwhelmed by this album, or if you were not satisfied by this.
If you were a big AC/DC fan, you would love the shit out of this. So, you know, you got to be happy for them. Got to be happy for the AC/DC fans, really, that they're just getting another AC/DC album. Shit, they must be friggin' loving it.
Absolutely, man. Particularly, and because I feel like it's not. It's not like a where you hear like some older bands and they put something together after an extended break. Because you got to think, I'm just looking now. It looks like the last album they put out was 6 years ago. Yeah. You know, take a 6-year break and then come back and be rocking as hard as ever. Yeah, you know, at any age, that's impressive. So I feel like they've done good things, and I'm sufficiently impressed to give this 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2 thumbs up. Is this a new system that we have?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a 2 thumbs up as well, MT.
Yeah, because I feel like it ticks all the boxes, dude. Like, and you know, to just objectively listen to this and consider what it means to people that are fans of this band and of the genre.
Absolutely.
And also appreciating how instrumental they've been in like the informing, you know, so many, like opening the gateway for so many other bands.
Absolutely.
To hear them
Australian bands as well. Bands. Put Australian bands on the map, you know, so we've got to give it to AC/DC for that.
No AC/DC, there's no Airborne, dude.
Yeah. I think I saw Airborne once, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I've seen them as well. And I remember, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm watching AC/DC. But
I think it was fucking loud. It was fucking loud.
Dude.
It was loud. Fucking loud, yeah. It was loud as fuck.
And to cap off that story I was telling you, seeing AC/DC live did definitely shift my perspective of them. It wasn't until they had like a big theatrical intro to the concert, and it was like a cartoon version of Angus on a runaway freight train. And I don't remember, he like snapped the brakes or something, and it all hell broke loose. And then the curtain lifted, and there was a full-size fucking train on the stage, dude. Like a full-size freight train that had like looked like it had crashed into the stage. Wow. And there's like smoke blowing out of it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like this is out of control. And when they did the song that For Those About to Rock, We Salute You song, there was like fucking cannons going off, like full-size cannons on the stage that are just going off as loud as cannons. And just a lot of what was going on. I was like, all right, I feel like it was a big deal. And it definitely gave me a newfound appreciation for their significance. And when you look at, you know, obviously it's a totally different genre. But when you consider, if someone was like, "Hey, dude, you have the opportunity to see the Beatles," you'd be like, "Oh, damn, I'm pissed that I didn't go." I feel like in terms of what rock and metal is, that this is the Beatles. So whether or not you're into it or not, I think there is a certain level of respect that has to be given. And after seeing them, I was like, "Oh yeah, I get it now. Like this is cool as hell."
For sure. Nah, I feel you, dude. Yeah, 100%. I feel you. Cool. Well, let us know what you want us to review next, I guess. You know, this is something that we want to do regularly. We want to review some acts regularly. If you know any good new tracks, but it doesn't have to necessarily be new. It could be something that just, you know, you think's really cool, or something that's gone by the wayside that didn't maybe get too much attention. Hit MTLD up. Let us know what you think we should, you know, react to or review. Is it a reaction? I don't know, man. I hate normal reaction videos, but I think this is more of like
they're always
an analysis.
Staged and bullshit, man.
They're like, oh my god, whoa. Yeah, I hate that shit. No, we'll be real. We'll be real. You can always trust MTLD to be real. So, thank you very much for joining us, guys. As always, we hope you've enjoyed this. Let us know what you think of the new AC/DC in the comment box below. Anyway, we'll see you next time, guys. Peace.
Thank you very much.